Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It is Cairo back with another video. This is episode number 3 to the road to 10 bill series. And I know it's coming out fairly soon, but when you hit 300 mil increase in wealth in 2 days, it's kind of cool having a finished upload a video. So first and foremost, I hope you enjoy and thank you for tuning in. I'm somewhat concerned about these videos, this series in general, for the very reason that I don't want it to end so quickly. And if we're gonna keep this pace up, it might finish in maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months. And while everybody's still at home, I think I can keep up with the pace. So yeah, I mean, it's great. I'm happy that I'm able to make this much in such a little amount of time, but at the same, I'm kind of afraid for the fact that this series is going to end and I have nothing else to upload. So I guess this is an informal announcement to the fact that I'm going to be uploading something different, and hope you stay tuned. First drop of the hour is a Virtus top at Next, and pretty much didn't get anything else for the remainder of the hour, but in total we've logged about 6 hours at Next for this video. 6 hours, and I think 6 total drop. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, 6 hours and 5 to 6 drops, let's say. That's extremely lucky. That's pretty good. My plans for next are actually quite straightforward. As soon as I finish the collection, I will actually drop next for a bit. I might not actually do any more kills at next because I've personally had my fair share. But if I do want to make a little bit of money consistently, I might go back. Once I finish next, finish the collection, I will actually try my best to learn Telos. And as you may know, Telos' best money game. You could possibly make upwards of 30 mil an hour at that boss if you're doing very high enrages and very high streaks. I don't see myself doing that anytime soon. I am a PVM pleb, so yeah, we'll think about it in the future. Let's continue on with the drop streak, and we get a pair of Torva gloves. The one thing about Torva is that every time I see it on the ground, I'm just really hoping for a plate or plate legs, because those are the two most expensive next items that you could possibly get. But I'm fairly happy even with Torva gloves or a boot. They're still pretty expensive and a good drop to receive. Now, I have about 1,200 kills at Next, and without a doubt, my most hated mechanic at Next, you'd think it's the Ice Prison, you'd think it's the Contain, or possibly the Siphon and the Sacrifice, or even the Zeros phase where you just have to DPS quickly enough so you don't run out of food. No, actually, it's on Smoke phase, first phase of Next. The fact that she pulls you in, that mechanic alone is just so bothersome, because if you cycle Anticipation and Freedom correctly every single time, you will still get pulled in maybe 1 out of 10 times. It's just bothersome to even think about it. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But it's just one of those bosses where even though it has a really annoying mechanic, the great mechanic about it is consistent money. The next drop from Next is Virtus Match. So we're up 8.4 mil, which is great. Can't really complain. I mean, I already did complain, but yeah, can't really complain money-wise. Now, I remember when I first decided to learn Next, it was at a time when raids were fairly new to the game, and I really wanted to try it. And because I was the kind of person who would play very on and off, I didn't really have a team nor a big friends list to really tap into and, you know, ask to come and try it out. So I really was looking for a team, and I was part of a PVM clan back in the day. And the challenge from that clan was, if you learn to successfully solo Next and do it, we will invite you to raids. And I think that's kind of cool, given the fact that they put me up for a challenge. They put me in an uncomfortable situation, and basically it helped me grow in a way. And that's not just important for RuneScape. I think it's important for pretty much any aspect of life. If you're really getting too comfortable doing the things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, you never really get to grow and try new things. Regardless, they didn't actually end up inviting me to raids after, and that was unfortunate. So not the nicest of people, but yeah, it's I see it as a positive. I was able to learn how to solo Next, and now I'm making a crap ton of money from it. It's not a bad deal. Anyway, drop number 4 from Next was a pair of Virtus boots. So a cool 4 mil to end off the 4th hour at Next, and very happy about that. You may be wondering if I am building a loot tab and hopefully showcasing it at the very end of the series, and you'd be right, I am building a loot tab. There are certain items that I do want to get rid of right away, certain volatile items, like for instance the Dragon Mattock. As soon as I would get my hands on those, I would sell them off right away. As you may know, they started out at like 150 mil, and now they've dropped down to about 90 mil. They've even gone down as low as 80 mil and then bounced back up to 100 mil. So there are certain items that I do want to get rid of right right away. However, for the majority of these drops, they are staying in my bank and hopefully showcasing them at the very end of the series to get a good idea of how much PVMing we actually did to achieve that 10 bill goal. The last hour at Nex, our 6th hour at Nex, we were able to get our hands on a Pernix cowl, so not too bad. An extra 6.1 mil into the loot tab. Definitely happy to see that. Now, as you may remember from the previous episode, the plan was to camp both Zeros and Sliske to essentially increase the faction reputation to 100% for both factions, and I did that to basically increase the amount of Sliskelian essence I would be able to get per hour, and in about 5 hours of Sliske, we were able to get a total of 5 Sliskelian essence. It's kind of nuts if you think about it. Yeah, pretty good amount of money from Greg. The cool thing about PVM, I would say, in my personal opinion, is that you'll never know when something absolutely insane happens. I mean, getting a rare drop is kind of cool, and you know, it's a quick dash of dopamine, and you're like, wow, I can definitely do this for another 5 hours and then get another drop. I mean, that's kind of cool, but crazy is when something crazy happens, and bear with me. First of all, this kill is just like any other kill at Vindicta. I was able to get myself a Crest of Zeros, which is kind of cool, 32 mil, not bad at all, added to the loot tab, and the crazy thing happens after a very embarrassing moment of myself trying to get another kill right after getting the Crest of Zeros, and I was a little bit preoccupied and a little bit excited about the fact that certain clanmates were actually showing their excitement for seeing this video coming out. And with that, I end up dying, and one trip to Death's office later, I decide to go back to Vindicta. Now, the crazy thing is, if you think about it, the Crest of Zeros is a 1 in 256 drop. After 100% drop chance increase, that's not exactly common. That's kind of rare, but not super rare. What is super rare, however, is getting another Crest of Zeros back to back. If you take in the math, a 1 in 256 happening one after the other is a 1 in 65,000. Pretty intense. I feel like I'm never going to get this lucky ever again. I'm actually feeling a dry streak coming very soon, but I digress. One thing that is certainly true is that you cannot have the very good baiter title, which is a funny title. Can't explain why it is. I'm fairly certain you understand why that is, but you cannot have that title without having a lot of big game hunter killed. In fact, upon completion of this video, I've had 1,534 big game hunter kills, which is a lot of kills. The funny thing is, I prepped myself for about an hour's worth of big game hunter. Actually, no, scratch that. It was about 2 hours of big game hunter. I've extended my lumberjack aura. I was ready to go for quite some time, and luckily enough, the first kill of those 2 hours resulted in a Dragon Mattock. And like I said, I don't like to keep holding on to volatile items like the Dragon Mattock. I know it's going up and down in price, so I decided to go to the GE and sell it right away, and I put it in for mid price, which was 91.5 mil, and it insta sold for 98 mil. So I guess a lot of people are not doing as much BGH as ARC first came out, or maybe there's just a larger demand for Dragon Mattocks for some odd reason. So to round up, we went from 6.2 bill overall wealth to 6.5 in the span of 2 days, which is kind of nuts, but definitely happy about that. I hope you guys enjoyed watching episode 3 to the Road to 10 Bill series. This has been Cairo, and I'll see you next time.